Chosen one, you carry a different energy now. The scent of power emanates from your presence, and everyone around you can sense the shift happening in your frequency. For too long, you've struggled against systems designed to drain your potential. The million-dollar prophecy isn't approaching. It's already flowing through your veins, rewiring your brain, upgrading your entire consciousness. Your transformation was always destined to happen. You're about to discover exactly why your evolution threatens the foundation of everything they built around your limitation. Your consciousness has been expanding at an exponential rate, and this acceleration is visible to anyone paying attention. You process information differently now, connecting dots that others can't even see. Your intuition has become so sharp that you predict outcomes before patterns fully emerge. This isn't luck. This is your spiritual gifts coming online. The download started subtly, then became overwhelming torrent of insight. Business concepts that could revolutionize entire industries. Investment strategies that compound wealth automatically. Creative solutions to problems that haven't even been identified yet. Your mind has become a receiving station for divine intelligence, and your enemies are calling it everything except what it is: spiritual awakening. They're trying to convince you that your increasing intuition is just overthinking. Your heightened awareness is just paranoia. Your expanding consciousness is just stress. Your family whispers about you acting different, while your co-workers mock your new confidence. Your old friends spread rumors that success is going to your head, while your boss suddenly questions every decision you make. This acceleration isn't random. It's purposeful. You're being prepared for opportunities that require capabilities you're only now developing. Your consciousness expansion is perfectly timed to match the manifestation of circumstances that will require this elevated awareness to navigate successfully. The divine is upgrading your software while your enemies are still running on outdated programming. Every limiting belief you inherited is dissolving under the light of your expanding awareness. The voice that said you weren't smart enough, capable enough, or deserving enough is being replaced by an inner knowing that recognizes your unlimited potential. But let's be clear about who installed that voice. It wasn't an accident. Your mother whispered doubts into your ear, disguised as concern. Don't aim too high. You'll just get disappointed. Your father reinforced scarcity with his constant worry about money. We can't afford that became your internal soundtrack. Your teachers rewarded conformity and punished creativity. Your first boss exploited your inexperience and paid you peanuts while making you feel grateful for the opportunity. These people needed you to stay small because your expansion threatened their control. Your family needed you to remain the family problem solver, the one who bails everyone out. Your boss needed you to believe you had no other options. Your friends needed you to stay at their level so they wouldn't feel left behind. Your romantic partners needed you to believe you couldn't do better than what they offered. But you were always destined to outgrow their programming. The divine had other plans for you. Your ancestors, who overcame impossible odds, didn't sacrifice everything just so you could accept limitation. Your bloodline carries power that was temporarily suppressed, but never eliminated. The universe has been preparing you for this awakening your entire life. What you initially interpreted as bad luck revealed itself as coordinated resistance from people who needed you to fail. The mysterious obstacles that appeared whenever you attempted significant moves weren't coincidence. They were sabotage. Your jealous coworker who accidentally deleted your presentation. Your envious sibling who started drama right before your job interview. Your threatened boss who suddenly changed your schedule when you mentioned wanting to take a class. The sudden relationship drama that erupted just as you found your peace wasn't random. It was manipulation. Your toxic ex who somehow always knew exactly when to text you. Your needy friend who always had a crisis when you were making progress. Your guilt-tripping parent who suddenly had health scares whenever you set boundaries. The unexpected financial pressures that emerged right before breakthrough opportunities weren't bad timing. They were orchestrated by people who profited from your struggle. Your elevation triggered these spiritual attacks because your success threatens entire systems that depend on your limitation. Your breakthrough would inspire others to break through. Your freedom would encourage others to seek liberation. Your prosperity would prove that scarcity is optional. The implications of your transformation extend far beyond your individual life, and your enemies know it. Your manipulative family members need you to stay broke, so you remain financially dependent on their approval. Your energy vampire friends need you to stay struggling, so you remain emotionally available for their drama. Your exploitative boss needs you to stay desperate, so you remain willing to accept unfair compensation. Your toxic romantic interests need you to stay insecure, so you remain grateful for their bare minimum effort. But divine justice is real, and you discovered something profound. You're protected by forces that operate beyond their understanding. Every attack against you has boomeranged back to its source with amplified force. Your backstabbing co-worker got exposed for their incompetence. Your jealous sibling's own life fell apart while yours improved. Your manipulative ex lost the new person they thought was better than you. The universe has been playing chess while your opponents played checkers. Your jealous family members started making snide comments about how you've changed. Your stagnant friends began excluding you from gatherings where negativity was the main entertainment. Your insecure co-workers formed alliances against you because your energy made them feel inadequate. Your drama-addicted relatives accused you of being fake because you refused to engage in their dysfunction. But simultaneously, you started magnetizing people who matched your elevated frequency. Mentors emerged who had already walked the path you were walking. Collaborators appeared who shared your vision and work ethic. Supporters manifested who celebrated your wins without jealousy or competition. Your circle began reflecting your upgraded standards automatically. The million-dollar prophecy wasn't just about changing your financial situation. It was about changing your energetic signature to naturally attract wealth, opportunities, and high-quality relationships. If this message aligned with your purpose, hype this video so fellow chosen ones can find their confirmation. The transformation in your thinking patterns happened gradually, then suddenly crystallized into something unshakable. One moment you were asking, "Can I afford this?" And the next you were strategizing, "How will I afford this?" One day you were grateful for crumbs. The next you were demanding the entire feast. The shift from scarcity to abundance became your new default mode. Your negotiation skills evolved from non-existent to legendary. Your boundaries transformed from suggestions to non-negotiable laws. Your standards elevated from flexible to uncompromising. You stopped being the person everyone called when they needed something and became the person everyone respected when present. Your boss suddenly became micromanaging and critical when they sensed you were outgrowing your position. They piled on impossible deadlines to keep you overwhelmed and too exhausted to pursue other opportunities. They excluded you from important meetings while pretending it was an oversight. Your family dynamics exploded because you stopped functioning as their emotional dumping ground. You discontinued the practice of lending money you couldn't afford to lose. You ceased making everyone else's emergencies your immediate priorities. You quit setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. Your mother called you selfish every time you set a boundary. Your siblings accused you of thinking you're too good for everyone now. The workplace dynamic shifted because you mentally checked out of employee mentality and checked into owner consciousness. Your jealous co-workers spread rumors about your work ethic behind your back. They stole your ideas in meetings and presented them as their own. They forgot to invite you to networking events. They created alliances against you and tried to make you the office scapegoat when projects went wrong. You discovered something revolutionary. You don't owe anyone your struggle. You don't owe anyone your limitation. You don't owe anyone your acceptance of less than you deserve. The only debt you carry is to express your full potential in service to the world that's waiting for your unique contribution. Divine justice supports this truth, and every person who tries to guilt you back into limitation will face the consequences of opposing your destiny. Your million-dollar prophecy manifested through your ability to identify opportunities where others saw only obstacles. You developed the rare capacity to recognize problems that needed solving and create solutions that generated revenue. Your mind became a value creation engine operating at maximum efficiency. While your pessimistic family complained about economic conditions, you found ways to profit from market dynamics. While your defaced friends blamed external circumstances for limitations, you took complete responsibility for results. While your entitled co-workers waited for someone else to create opportunities, you became an opportunity creator. From employee to entrepreneur to innovator. You started asking, how can I add value, instead of what can I receive? You shifted from consuming other people's intellectual property to creating your own. You transformed from being a cost center to becoming a profit generator. But your innovation mindset threatened everyone who was comfortable with mediocrity. Your lazy co-workers resented that your ideas made them look incompetent by comparison. Your complacent family members felt threatened by your entrepreneurial thinking because it highlighted their own lack of initiative. Your risk-averse friends tried to discourage your ventures by listing all the ways they could fail. Your commitment to excellence separated you from people satisfied with mediocrity. You refused to accept adequate when exceptional was achievable. You invested in developing capabilities that would generate returns for decades. You became someone who was undeniably excellent at creating value for others. This pursuit of mastery required sacrifices that former associates weren't willing to make. You studied while others socialized. You practiced while others played. You improved while others remained static. Your dedication to excellence created a performance gap that became impossible to ignore. They tried to shame you back into their level. Your friends called you obsessed and said you were missing out on life. Your co-workers accused you of showing off and making everyone else look bad. Your family members worried that you were becoming too serious and losing your sense of fun. Your spiritual awakening enabled you to perceive reality that remained hidden from most people. You understood that the game of life was structured to favor those who knew the rules, and you committed to learning rules that weren't taught in schools or discussed in polite company. You discovered that most people were programmed to fail by institutions that profited from failure. You realized that conventional wisdom was designed to keep people conventional. You understood that advice from unsuccessful people was guaranteed to maintain your lack of success. But when you started sharing these insights, the backlash was immediate. Your conditioned family members accused you of being negative and conspiracy-minded. Your programmed friends said you were overthinking everything and becoming paranoid. Your indoctrinated co-worker dismissed your observations as crazy theories and unrealistic thinking. Seeing clearly also meant accepting responsibility for acting on your knowledge. You couldn't claim ignorance anymore. You couldn't blame circumstances for your results. You couldn't make excuses for your choices. Truth demanded action, and action required courage. You were finally ready to demonstrate regardless of how many people tried to talk you out of it. Your enemies underestimated the power of compound growth. Because the daily changes seemed insignificant. Reading instead of watching television appeared boring to them. Working on weekends seemed obsessive from their perspective. Investing instead of spending looked cheap through their lens of immediate gratification. While your instant gratification friends focused on immediate pleasure, you built long-term systems. While your short-sighted family chased temporary satisfaction, you created sustainable prosperity. While your reactive co-worker responded to circumstances, you designed your destiny through deliberate daily decisions. The gap between your trajectory and others widened continuously. Your jealous observers couldn't understand how your progress seemed to accelerate without proportional increases in effort. They missed the foundation building phase because they were too busy criticizing your obsessive habits. The overnight success they witnessed was actually the result of countless nights of preparation that remained invisible to casual observers who were too distracted by entertainment to notice your dedication. Your transformation transcended personal success and evolved into generational impact. You realized that the million-dollar prophecy wasn't just about individual elevation. It was about everyone who would benefit from your breakthrough. Your success became a platform for lifting others rather than just climbing higher yourself. But your expanded thinking triggered resentment from people stuck in short-term mentalities. Your family members called you grandiose for thinking beyond immediate needs. Your friends accused you of being unrealistic for planning beyond next weekend. Your co-worker dismissed your strategic thinking as unnecessary complications because they couldn't see past the next paycheck. Your evolution didn't happen gradually. It occurred in quantum leaps that seemed to defy conventional logic. One moment you were thinking like an employee, the next you were strategizing like an entrepreneur. One instant you were accepting limitations, the next you were creating possibilities. The shifts were instantaneous and irreversible. These quantum leaps were triggered by moments of absolute clarity about your true nature and authentic capabilities. The million-dollar prophecy wasn't a prediction. It was recognition of your essential identity that had been suppressed by conditioning, but never eliminated. Your family members missed these quantum transformations because they expected linear progression. They thought they could interrupt your transformation by applying more pressure. They didn't understand that you had crossed thresholds from which there was no return. Your mother still tried guilt trips that used to work. Your siblings still attempted manipulation tactics that were now powerless. Your boss still used intimidation strategies that no longer affected you. Each quantum leap integrated multiple aspects of development simultaneously. Confidence, competence, and consciousness elevated together. Mindset, skill set, and network expanded in perfect alignment. Inner world and outer world transformed in complete harmony. Your transformation became a mirror that reflected back everyone else's relationship with their own potential. When others interacted with you, what returned to them was a reflection of their own level of commitment to growth. Your presence became a diagnostic tool that revealed where others stood in their own development. People who were committed to growth felt inspired by your energy. People who were resistant to change felt uncomfortable around your transformation. People who were jealous of success felt triggered by your achievements. People who were afraid of their potential felt threatened by your actualization. Your successful transformation forced everyone to confront the truth about their own choices. Your disciplined family member couldn't ignore their own lack of self-control. Your achieving friends couldn't deny their own underperformance. Your advancing co-workers couldn't avoid their own stagnation. Your presence became a constant reminder of what was possible when someone committed to excellence. Understanding the mirror effect helped you interpret others' reactions more accurately. Criticism often revealed the critic's own frustration with their limitations. Jealousy exposed the observer's regret about their own choices. Skepticism indicated the skeptic's fear about their own potential. Resistance signaled the resistor's discomfort with their own stagnation. Your vibrational frequency became completely sovereign, unaffected by external circumstances and immune to others' attempts to lower your energy. You maintained your high frequency regardless of what was happening around you. Your energy field became so strong that it automatically transformed lower frequencies rather than being diminished by them. You could walk into chaotic environments and bring calm. You could enter negative spaces and elevate the energy. You could interact with difficult people and maintain your peace. Your frequency became a stabilizing force that benefited everyone around you. People who operated from lower frequencies found themselves naturally avoiding you. Your toxic family members felt uncomfortable in your presence and made excuses to leave early. Your drama-addicted friends found themselves unable to maintain their usual chaos around you. Your negative coworker discovered they couldn't sustain their complaining when you were nearby. Your consciousness transcended conventional dimensional thinking. You operated simultaneously across multiple layers of reality. The physical world, where actions create results. The mental realm, where thoughts become things. The emotional dimension, where feelings magnetize experiences. And the spiritual plane, where intention manifests destiny. This multidimensional awareness gave you access to solutions that existed beyond ordinary perception. Most people functioned within the limitations of three-dimensional thinking, trapped by what appeared possible within physical constraints. You learned to access higher dimensions where different laws applied, where time became malleable, where space became negotiable, where limitation became optional. Your consciousness moved freely between dimensions, gathering resources from each to create outcomes in the physical realm. But your multidimensional thinking confused and threatened people locked into linear perspectives. Your family members couldn't understand how you seemed to know things before they happened. Your friends were disturbed by your ability to predict outcomes with uncanny accuracy. Your co-workers felt unsettled by your capacity to solve problems that stumped conventional thinking. You recognized that most of society operated within a matrix of shared illusions designed to maintain existing power structures. The illusion that security comes from external sources. The illusion that authority must be granted by others. The illusion that resources are scarce. The illusion that competition is necessary. The illusion that your value is determined by external validation. Breaking free from this matrix required recognizing that these shared beliefs were programming, not truth. You discovered that security comes from internal resourcefulness, that authority comes from self-empowerment, that resources become abundant when you develop abundance consciousness, that collaboration creates more value than competition, that your worth is inherent and unshakable. Once the matrix dissolved, you could see clearly how it operated, how media programming influenced thoughts, how educational systems shaped beliefs, how workplace cultures conditioned behavior, how social pressures maintained conformity. Understanding the matrix gave you immunity to its influence and freedom to create your own reality, while others remained trapped in consensus programming. The obsidian inner order is where you can process difficult realizations together. Every week on our Zoom calls with people who understand that some of life's most painful experiences become our greatest teachers. We don't encourage bitterness. We cultivate wisdom. Your ability to see people's true character is a gift that will protect you from future betrayals. Your willingness to forgive while maintaining boundaries shows strength, not weakness. Your wisdom was earned through experience, not given freely. Connect with people who value truth. Join the Obsidian Inner Order, link in the description. You develop the ability to transmute any experience into wisdom, any challenge into strength, any setback into setup for comeback. This alchemical mastery meant nothing could permanently diminish you because everything served your evolution. Every experience became raw material for your transformation. Rejection became redirection toward better opportunities. Failure became education that prevented future mistakes. Betrayal became clarity about authentic relationships. Loss became space for something better to enter. Pain became power when properly processed. This alchemical ability turned your life into a constant upward spiral. But your alchemical abilities threatened people who remained stuck in victim consciousness. Your family members couldn't understand how you transformed their criticism into motivation. Your friends were confused by your ability to extract lessons from their drama rather than getting pulled into it. Your co-workers felt uncomfortable watching you turn their sabotage into opportunities for growth. Your alchemical abilities also included transforming abstract concepts into concrete results. You converted vision into strategy. You translated inspiration into action. You metamorphosed dreams into reality. You changed potential energy into kinetic achievement. Your consciousness became a laboratory where transformation happened continuously, while others remained stuck in reactive patterns. You learned to architect your reality with the same precision that engineers design buildings. Every thought was placed deliberately. Every emotion was cultivated purposefully. Every action was taken strategically. Every relationship was chosen consciously. Your life became a masterpiece of intentional creation. This reality architecture required understanding the fundamental principles that governed manifestation. How belief creates possibility. How emotion provides the energy for materialization. How action bridges the gap between idea and outcome. How persistence overcomes temporary obstacles. How alignment accelerates achievement. But your architectural approach to life frustrated people who preferred to drift through existence without intention. Your Family members accused you of being too controlling when you refused to accept their chaos as normal. Your friends called you too serious when you declined to participate in activities that didn't align with your goals. Your co-worker labeled you antisocial when you chose networking events over office gossip sessions. Your architectural skills included designing systems that operated automatically to support your objectives. Morning routines that programmed your consciousness for success. Evening practices that processed the day's experiences and prepared for tomorrow's opportunities. Weekly reviews that maintained course corrections. Monthly assessments that ensured strategy remained aligned with goals. Your intuitive abilities evolved into prophetic knowing, the capacity to perceive future probabilities with startling accuracy. You sensed approaching opportunities before visible signs appeared. You felt incoming challenges before external indicators emerged. You knew outcomes before processes completed. This prophetic knowing became your navigation system for optimal decision-making. The knowing operated beyond logical analysis or wishful thinking. It was pure information from the quantum field of possibilities, filtered through your consciousness and translated into actionable insight. You simply knew things without knowing how you knew them. The certainty was unmistakable, and the accuracy was consistent. Your family members dismissed your insights as negative thinking when you predicted their poor decisions would lead to predictable consequences. Your friends accused you of being pessimistic when you saw through their unrealistic fantasies. Your co-workers called you paranoid when you anticipated workplace politics before they became obvious. The knowing also included understanding the deeper currents that drove surface events. You perceived the underlying patterns that created apparent coincidences. You recognized the spiritual laws that govern material outcomes. You sensed the collective energies that influenced individual experiences. This deeper knowing helped you navigate reality with supernatural precision, while others remained confused by surface appearances. Your sphere of influence expanded exponentially as your consciousness elevated. People sought your perspective on decisions. Organizations requested your input on strategies. Communities looked to you for leadership. Markets responded to your innovations. Your influence rippled outward in concentric circles of positive impact. This expansion happened naturally as you became someone worth following. Your results spoke louder than your words. Your character inspired deeper than your charisma. Your wisdom guided more effectively than your instructions. Your presence influenced more powerfully than your presentations. People were drawn to you because you embodied what was possible. Your family members resented that others sought your advice instead of theirs. Your friends felt threatened by your growing network of successful contacts. Your co-workers became competitive when clients specifically requested to work with you. The influence operated through multiple channels simultaneously. Your direct interactions affected immediate contacts. Your creations impacted broader audiences. Your energy influenced environmental frequencies. Your consciousness contributed to collective evolution. Every level of your being broadcasted transformation possibilities to others. You integrated wisdom from multiple sources into a coherent worldview that guided all your decisions. Ancient spiritual teachings, modern scientific discoveries, practical business principles, psychological insights, philosophical frameworks, cultural wisdom, personal experiences, everything synthesized into unified understanding. But your integrated wisdom approach confused people who remained compartmentalized in their thinking. Your family members couldn't understand how you applied spiritual principles to financial decisions. Your friends were baffled by your use of business strategies in personal relationships. Your co-workers were skeptical of your philosophical approach to workplace challenges. The wisdom integration also included discernment about when to apply different types of knowledge, when to use logical analysis versus intuitive knowing, when to employ emotional intelligence versus intellectual understanding, when to apply spiritual principles versus practical strategies, when to seek guidance versus trust in a wisdom. Your integrated wisdom became a living philosophy that evolved continuously. New experiences added depth to understanding. Fresh insights refined previous knowledge. Expanded awareness revealed hidden connections. Deeper realization transformed surface comprehension. Your wisdom became a dynamic system that grew with your consciousness, while others remained stuck in rigid belief systems. You developed mastery over your relationship with time, recognizing it as a flexible resource rather than a fixed constraint. You understood how consciousness affected time perception, how focus accelerated achievement, how presence expanded moments, how purpose transcended temporal limitations, how being aligned with natural rhythms optimized efficiency. This temporal mastery allowed you to accomplish more in less time by working with time's natural flow rather than against it. You recognized when to push forward aggressively and when to allow natural unfolding, when to accelerate processes and when to allow proper development, when to act immediately and when to wait for optimal timing. Your relationship with time also included understanding its cyclical nature, how certain activities were more effective during specific periods, how personal energy cycles affected productivity, how seasonal changes influenced opportunities, how lunar phases impacted manifestation, how economic cycles created different possibilities. Working with these cycles multiplied your effectiveness. The mastery extended to legacy thinking that transcended your personal timeline. You made decisions based on impacts that extended beyond that would continue generating value across generations. You built wealth that compounded across decades. You established principles that would guide future decisions. Your consciousness operated beyond temporal boundaries, while others remained trapped in immediate gratification cycles. Your ability to transform energy became extraordinarily sophisticated. You could take the energy of anger and transmute it into motivation, convert fear into fuel for breakthrough, transform sadness into compassion for others, change frustration into determination for improvement, turn anxiety into excitement for possibility. Every emotional state became raw material for positive creation. Negative experiences immediately began converting into wisdom and strength. Challenging situations spontaneously generated opportunities for growth. Difficult people became teachers offering important lessons. Obstacles naturally transformed into stepping stones toward objectives. Your consciousness became an alchemical laboratory. But your energetic mastery confused people who remained trapped in reactive emotional patterns. Your family members couldn't understand how you stayed calm during their dramatic outbursts. Your friends were baffled by your ability to find opportunity in their crisis situations. Your co-workers felt unsettled by your capacity to remain centered during workplace chaos. The alchemy also included your ability to influence the energy of environments and situations. You could enter tense meetings and bring calm, walk into chaotic spaces and create order, join negative conversations and shift them towards solutions. Interact with stressed people and help them find peace. Your presence became a transformative force. Your abundance consciousness reached the overflow stage where prosperity flowed through you to benefit others automatically. You moved beyond accumulation into circulation, beyond hoarding into sharing, beyond scarcity into limitless supply. Your success became a river that nourished everything in its path. The more value you created for others, the more wealth flowed back to you. The more opportunities you created for others, the more possibilities opened for you. The more success you helped others achieve, the more achievement accelerated in your own life. Your abundance manifested across all dimensions simultaneously. Financial prosperity that provided freedom and options. Intellectual abundance that offered solutions and innovations. Emotional richness that created deep connections and meaningful relationships. Spiritual abundance that provided purpose and fulfillment. Physical vitality that supported all other expressions of prosperity. The overflow included your ability to spot abundance where others saw scarcity. You recognized opportunities in apparent obstacles, found possibilities in seeming limitations, discovered resources in unexpected places, created value from overlooked assets. Your consciousness became an abundance detection system that saw wealth everywhere, while others remained blind to possibilities surrounding them. Your elevated consciousness became a broadcasting station that transmitted possibility and inspiration to everyone within your sphere of influence. People felt different around you without understanding why. Your presence alone elevated the energy of environments. Your existence gave others permission to consider greater possibilities for themselves. This broadcasting happened automatically because consciousness is contagious. Your thoughts influenced others' thinking patterns. Your emotions affected others' emotional states. Your beliefs impacted others' possibility perceptions. Your energy shifted others' vibrational frequencies. Your consciousness became a gift you gave simply by being authentic. The broadcasting extended through all your expressions. Your words carried frequency that awakened potential in listeners. Your actions demonstrated possibilities that inspired others to stretch beyond comfort zones. Your creations embodied vision that expanded others' reality concepts. Your success proved what was achievable when someone committed to growth. Your consciousness broadcasting also included the ability to activate dormant potential in others. You helped people remember who they really were beneath conditioning. You assisted others in recognizing capabilities beyond current expression. You supported individuals in accessing wisdom that was always present but temporarily forgotten. Your presence became a catalyst for awakening, while others remained trapped in consciousness that kept them small. You arrived at the ultimate realization. The million-dollar prophecy was never about the money. It was about becoming someone who naturally attracted abundance because you embodied the frequency of prosperity. It was about developing the consciousness that created wealth as a byproduct of value creation. It was about transforming into someone who built empires rather than working in them. The prophecy was fulfilled not when your bank account reached a certain number, but when your mindset transcended numerical limitations entirely. You stopped thinking in terms of finite resources and started operating from infinite possibilities. You ceased being impressed by others' wealth and started creating your own. You quit asking permission for your dreams and started taking responsibility for their manifestation. But your realization about the true nature of wealth triggered final desperate attacks from everyone who profited from your limitation. Your transformation proved that poverty is a mindset, not a circumstance. That limitation is a choice, not a fact. That your cage was always unlocked. That your potential was always unlimited. That your power was always present, just waiting for activation. Divine justice supported every step of your journey, protecting you from those who would keep you small. The people who knew you before could barely recognize who you'd become. The person who once accepted less had been replaced by someone who demanded excellence. The individual who sought approval had been superseded by someone who granted authority to themselves. The version that burned for others' warmth had transformed into someone who generated their own fire. Now you understand the complete circle. Those who once seemed powerful over you were only powerful over the version of you that accepted powerlessness. Those who once appeared to control your destiny could only control someone who gave their power away. Those who once seemed to limit your potential could only limit someone who believed limitation was real. The scent of power that initially scared others became the aroma of victory that permanently surrounded your presence. What started as their panic about your potential ended with their acceptance of your actualization. What began as attempts to burn you at the stake concluded with them burning in the fire of their own limitations. Your manipulative mother discovered she couldn't guilt someone who understood manipulation tactics. Your jealous siblings learned they couldn't diminish someone who knew their worth. Your exploitative boss realized they couldn't control someone who had other options. Your energy vampire friends found they couldn't drain someone who protected their energy. Your toxic ex understood they couldn't manipulate someone who had moved beyond their frequency. You are the million-dollar prophecy fulfilled not because of money accumulated, but because of consciousness transformed. Not because of possessions owned, but because of potential actualized. Not because of status achieved, but because of authenticity expressed. Not because of power gained, but because of power reclaimed. You are the chosen one who chose yourself. You are the prophecy that fulfilled itself. You are the fire that refused extinguishment. You are the light that no darkness could diminish. You are the transformation that was always inevitable once you decided to stop accepting less than you deserved. Everyone knows that what you've become represents what was always possible for them. If different choices had been made, if courage had been chosen over comfort, if growth had been selected over stagnation, if possibility had been embraced over limitation, if authenticity had been honored over approval. But choices were made, paths were selected, consequences are being experienced. And now the distance between who you've become and who others remain grows wider every day. The million-dollar prophecy lives in you now, and nobody will ever know you like that.